Most branded podcasts sound like a corporate town hall with Shure SM7B mics. Welcome to the official podcast of Blah 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 Incorporated, where we explore innovation, leadership, and impact, and you can already hear the khaki. Brand safe has become a genre, and it's boring. This is your mic. Today is for marketing teams, founders, and comms folks quietly wondering why their strategic audio initiative isn't doing anything but burning budget. But before we continue, let's be clear. Branded podcasts can work. There are shows out there right now made by brands that build followings, nurture supporters, and move hearts, not just KPIs. Think of narrative series that tell true stories around a brand's mission, customer experiences, or industry stakes, like L'Oreal partnering with T-Brand Studio, or take my company, Speke Podcasting, for example, and our clients, just two of them. The Roses podcast, Let's Talk About Your Breasts, or Integrity Bank's podcast, Banking on Integrity. The common threads when branded podcasts work? Well, they tell real stories with emotional depth. They prioritize listener value, entertainment, education, or both over brand chest thumping. They feel like shows that could exist on their own with the brand as a quiet architect. So where do branded shows go wrong? The short answer, overbranding. The signs, the logo is bigger than the episode idea. Every segment loops back to a product feature. The host sounds like they're reading the About page instead of having a pulse. A lot of branded podcast advice straight up says the best shows feel like they're from you, not about you. The brand's there in the choice of stories, the values, the POV, but it's not constantly clearing its throat. Instead, too many companies and nonprofits treat every single episode like a campaign asset instead of a relationship. They let brand safe become frictionless, toothless, completely forgettable. Meanwhile, the branded shows that actually move the needle are not afraid to get real. Take, for example, Integrity Bank's episodes where they talk about the big banks and how much money they actually keep in Integrity's local area. Or the Roses episode of Let's Talk About Your Breasts, in which they bust common breast cancer myths. These are anything but toothless shows. They point out real stakes, and in some cases, they're literally impacting a local economy or saving lives. Make no mistake, your audience can smell misalignment. They can smell it when you're not authentic, as much as I don't like the word authentic now, but really, they can smell it, and they will bail if they can smell it. Creators and strategists who work in this space talk about how the mic amplifies the gap between what a brand says and what its culture actually lives. And if you don't live it, don't theme a show around it. So how can you be safe enough without neutering the show? Think in terms of guardrails, not muzzles. Guardrails are, we don't disclose certain proprietary info. We avoid slander and legal landmines. We don't trauma bait. Muzzles are, we never admit we've made mistakes. We never talk about anything controversial, even if our audience lives in that reality every day. We never let guests say anything that doesn't make us look perfect. Those are muzzles. And muzzles suck. Brand and agency roundups on what works in branded podcasts keep repeating the same boring advice. Give the show its own identity, choose a host with authority and authenticity, and focus relentlessly on content that genuinely serves the audience. What that actually means is, you got to do episodes that explore problems your customers have, even if that includes frustrations with companies like yours. You got to have stories where your brand is sometimes in the background, not center stage. Remember, we're not chest thumping here. You got to have episodes that also include moments where you say the quiet part out loud, because that is where trust lives. The best branded shows also understand something that many brands forget. You can sell more by selling less. There's a reason case studies highlight that when branded podcasts lean into storytelling and audience-first value, they see lifts in brand affinity, loyalty, and long listening times, plus repeat engagement and positive perception shifts. Look, at the end of the day, people are smart, way smarter than you give them credit for. If you make their day better, they look up who made the thing. So here's your uncomfortable exercise if you work on a branded show, or if your personal show has accidentally become a brand brochure. Step 1, ask yourself, would anyone care about this if they didn't care about us? Take your last 3 episode ideas and strip your brand name off them. Would that topic still be compelling? Would the story still have stakes? Would the guest even matter? If the answer is no, then you do not have a show. You have long-form ad copy. Step 2, identify your over-branding tics. Look for forced product mentions that break the flow and hosts that sound like corporate PR and not humans. Then, pick one tick to kill in the next season. Better yet, pick one tick to kill at your next recording, if you could do it. Step 3, add one risky human move. This could be a mistake episode where you dissect a time your brand or you personally screwed up and what changed after. A listener Q&A where questions can be unfiltered and you answer honestly, even if the answer is, we're not there yet. Inviting a guest who disagrees with you on something central and actually letting them talk. You're not just trying to be edgy for the heck of it. You're trying to match the level of honesty your audience lives with on a daily basis. Step number 4, give the show its own spine. The strongest brand-backed shows have a clear premise and world that could theoretically survive without the logo. Example, behind the scenes of how XYZ industry really works, not updates from insert vendor here. Your brand funds and frames it. It doesn't sit in every line like a chaperone. Step number 5, and this is very important, trust the host. Data on host-read ads and branded content keeps showing that when brands let hosts bring their own tone and storytelling into integrations, listeners are more engaged and less annoyed. That's why people have a higher tendency to buy from podcast ad reads. So if you've hired a host, or if you are the host, stop strangling the voice of the show. Give yourself guardrails, key messages, and context. Allow the host to be human, especially if that host is you. Because brand safe is not evil, it's just shallow when it's used as an excuse not to be honest, specific, or emotionally real. Your job is not to sound like a brand. Your job is to make a show people would listen to even if they never bought from you. Everything else is just a very expensive version of talking to yourself. Hey, if you found this episode useful, please pass it along to the colleagues in your life who are producing khaki-colored podcasts, and reach out if you specifically or they would like to chat podcasting. Freddy, with a Y, Freddy at spekepodcasting.com. SPEKE podcasting.com. Thanks for listening.